All right, so I tried this Galaxy out, and it's okay, but I think I can do better. What do you think? Let's see. Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie, and I want to welcome you to my painting show. Today is a painting show. We're going to be doing painting with pens. I have the Arteza Real Brush pens. These are pens that have an actual real brush tip on them with bristles. Pretty cool. They are a dye-based ink, water soluble, so we can color right on the paper and then get it wet with a water brush and smush the colors around. I am working on figuring out how galaxies work. So I'm taking this light magenta in and coloring right on the paper with some of it. And some of it, I think I'm going to put on a palette and see how it works coming off of a palette with a brush. So we're putting some on just by coloring straight on the paper with the real brush. And now I am going to take just a little brush. I've got a little number 0 round. I know it's kind of small, but I just got it wet. I've just wet down the ink a little bit, that dye, and we're putting it on. It's much lighter when you put it on this way. We'll see how this works, eh? I think I'm going to rinse out that brush, take my dark blue, and put some of this dark blue in. This is the blueberry blue. It's amazingly dark. Ooh. And it's going next to some of that wet paint and bleeding in really nicely. These pens don't like to color so much right on the wet paper, but I'm putting the pen on the dry paper right next to the wet, and it's bleeding in already. Oh, that's excellent. It's not bleeding into the brush pen that was already there because the brush pen is much drier. I'm enjoying that. Maybe we'll put a little bit of the electric blue, which is actually a turquoise type of blue. Put a few spots of that in. Palette. The palette is just a glazed piece of tile. And just wiggle that around. You just want to have a bit of color, some variation. This is a mulberry pink, so it's a dark, little bit different. Ooh, it makes a really pretty purple with that electric blue. So you move slowly with these pens and the ink can come down. If you move too quickly, you get, or when you move quickly, you get more of a dry brush. So I am going to go ahead and put some water next to some of these colors. I am not worried. These colors all work together. So if I brush across one and go into another, it's fine. They are close enough, and this greenish color that you see is really a blue. And boy, it's making a beautiful purple mixed with that mulberry pink. And when it's, oh, now these water brushes that come with, I just dropped a huge drop of water right in the middle because when you squeeze on them, the water comes out up here. I'm not really a fan of that. That's disappointing. But luckily, what I'm doing, it doesn't matter so much that I got a giant drop of water because I can just move it around. But if this was, you know, a flower or something that I was trying really hard to put colors in a specific place, I would be crying right now. Well, maybe not, but I would not be a happy camper. You want to make sure that you keep some light colors in here and some dark. The black is going to be dark, so I'm not too worried. And we're going to be putting white stars on with gouache. I have the Arteza Gouache, so that's pretty nice. And we can go back in and put some more color in here after we put the black on. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot different than the one I did before. Let's pick up some of that turquoise blue. Oh yeah. See, you can just pick it right up off the palette and drop it in. Some of the colors are darker, pigmented, more heavily pigmented. The pink tends to not be as dark unless you mix it with something else. All right, we're going to get that black on there. I'm going to try putting some of this black on while it's wet. It's going to gray out while it will gray out some while it's wet. And when it dries, it will be softer, and then we can go back in and put more of the black on. I do like how it looks when we put the stars in, so you know, it's going to work out. I think I want a little bit of black space coming through here. We're on that wet paper, so it is bleeding. The black seems to work okay going over wet things. There we go. But it works better when it's going over dry. And I'm not adding any water here. I am just using the wet brush to move the paint around. Blur it out. Look at that. Ooh, I like that. That's cool, because now we're getting that softening, no hard edges. The colors do lift on this paper. That's pretty. All right, clean the brush off, just rubbing it on a little towel, give it a squeeze, get a drop of water on the towel, and the brush is clean. That's nice. We're going to dry this really quick with a heat tool. All right, gotta let it cool a second. You know, I may not put any more black on, or if I do, it will be after I splatter. So I have a little pea-size piece of gouache on here, and I'm going to cover the other painting that's behind there with the palette. I'm going to get the little round brush. Make sure that I take any water that's on the ferrule off. And then get my paint wet to make the stars. I'm just doing the tap the brush type of stars. The gouache is about the consistency of a heavy cream. And now I am taking and tapping the brush on my finger and getting a lovely light spray of stars. Go back. You can tap it if you tap it on something that's harder than your finger, you'll get harder spray. Some of it will be a finer mist. And if your paint is a little bit more wet, you might end up with bigger stars. I'm kind of keeping them going in an angle. There we go. I didn't want super big heavy stars, although I might go back in with this brush, wiping it off, getting it to a point, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the heavier gouache, and I'm going to make just a couple of these stars a little bit bigger. Just a little bit, maybe a couple clusters. Here and there. Make sure your paint is loaded on your brush and that it's a nice fine tip. There we go. Just picking a few. Just saying, I want a few of you to be brighter. And if one gets really big, pull it out a little. Give yourself a sparkly star. You know, it does have fun. And if things don't turn out, these are all practice. You see, I can get 6 of them on one piece of paper. But look at that. I like that one. I like this one a lot better than the first one I did. See, as you practice, as you play with these, we're going to pull the tape back. Look at that. So the first one was there. The second one is here. The second one, I'm glad that I did that for this video. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you will go out and try this with any materials you have. If you've got regular watercolors, kids' watercolors, choose 3 colors that go together, like a pink, a purple, and a blue. Make sure one of them is a brighter color, one of them is a middle color, and one is a darker color, and then black. You're using the white of the paper to give you the lighter dark tones of your colors, and then the black to just pull it all together and make it go into outer space. All right, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Remember, go out and do something creative. Take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. And I hope to see you back here again really soon. Oh, don't forget, share your artwork with me on all the social medias. And like, comment, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.